It's good to be with you. Immigration and Customs Enforcement announcing they have been going after some of the worst and giving us a real quick snapshot of yesterday's operations, literally from North Carolina all the way to California. When you read across some of the violations of what these people who are illegally in the country, the offenses they have committed against some of our fellow citizens, guys, it really makes you understand why ICE is doing what they're doing and why it's important to get the story out here. Because what are we always told as Americans? That those who cross that southern border, only violation they commit is illegally entering the country. Well, when you read some of these violations, you say to yourself, well, obviously that's not the case. Look, first-degree rape, first-degree sexual offense of a child, one individual out of North Carolina, another one for indecency with a child, one out of Utah, as you see here, arrested for robbery and trafficking of methamphetamine. And look, I can go on with these offenses. But when you talk about the sexual assaults, we have to remember something here. That's directly impacting someone in our country. And when you say first-degree rape, well, what does that even mean? Let me tell you what that means. It means they either used a weapon during the commission of the offense of that crime, they used extreme violence toward the victim while they committed that crime, or it was a child, guys. These are the kind of people that ICE is out there chasing every day. One last thing I just want to say to this as you're looking at some of these individuals is this. This is exactly why President Trump and border czar Tom Homan are directly saying that the quickest way to public safety to protect our citizens is through mass deportation. And that's exactly why they're going after these individuals and getting them picked up. Back to you.
Certainly the worst of the worst, some of these people. You can't not even believe the charges that they are up against. Jason Jones, we appreciate you coming on.
By this individual that you see in the video. What do you say to people when they look at that and say that falls outside of this purview of getting criminals out? What do you say to them?
Martha, do we know the criminal records of those so-called landscapers? Do we know the criminal records of any illegal alien walking the streets here in Chicago or anywhere else? What we're finding is child rapists in big box stores looking to go into people's homes or hang those Christmas lights like we see in this video here. How do you know who these people are? Do they have a criminal record maybe in their home country? Who are these people? Too many times we're finding that some very, very disreputable individuals are seeking work in people's homes, in their gardens, and otherwise. We don't want those people in society, and that's what we're after. And, I think we've done a really good job here in Chicago and other places to remove these types of individuals.
Well, we know there was another account of a ICE car getting rammed.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Can I switch? Yeah, I can. So here's the thing, and listen, you have the Democrats, especially Jasmine Crockett, honey, I'm about to do a whole brand new video on that. But you have the Democrats and these liberal lovers that are saying, oh, ICE is bad. They want to compare them to slave catchers. They're breaking the law. They're violating people's constitutional rights. Well, you don't have constitutional rights because you are not a citizen, but you do have due process. But these ICE agents are not breaking the law. But we have a big problem here because what people were forgetting, and I need to do a more of an elaborate show on this, are the missing children. There were a lot of kids who were trafficked into this country, whether they were supposed to meet their parents here or whether their parents back home sent them here. There were a lot, over 400,000. You're talking about 500,000 lost migrants, illegal migrants, trafficked into this country. Where are they? And ICE agents have been rescuing missing kids, missing migrants by the thousands.
Fox News alert, ICE announcing a brand new operation to conduct welfare checks on the 450,000 children that the Biden administration placed with unvetted sponsors, some of whom were sex traffickers, gang members, and abusers. The Trump administration has already located more than 24,400 children. And some of these stories are absolutely heartbreaking, like this one. A 1-year-old unaccompanied minor crossed the border during the Obama administration. That little girl is now 12 years old. During her 11 years in America, she lived with a series of relatives and endured horrifying abuse. According to Fox's Brooke Taylor, she was found in the custody of 2 sisters who have now been arrested. The 12-year-old was found, quote, with injuries all over her body, extreme malnutrition, and an infected gash on her head and zip ties around her wrist. Among those who abused this innocent child were her one-time sponsor, a distant uncle that she was placed with in 2024, despite being an illegal immigrant with a criminal conviction. That sponsor, that alleged abuser, was given temporary protected status by the Biden administration. Why? Here is video that Brooke Taylor obtained of the Trump administration arresting that man just yesterday. This is just one of the nearly 500,000 children that the Trump administration is seeking to protect. And this operation comes after the administration announced that Operation Dirtbag, conducted in partnership with the state of Florida, resulted in the arrest of 230 criminal illegal immigrants, including 150 sexual predators. Here was Deputy ICE Director Madison Sheehan announcing that development.
In just 10 days, we've been able to remove, in partnership with the state of Florida, over 230 of the worst heinous criminals from their streets. Our job as law enforcement is to protect the most vulnerable. Democrats will tell you that that is the criminal illegal aliens who they have let run free in our communities, but not this group of law enforcement. We know that it's the children that is our job to protect.
So listen, ICE prioritizes targeting human traffickers and smugglers who exploit children, not families seeking asylum. Specialized child rescue units work 24/7 to identify and save kids from dangerous criminal organizations. Over 1,500 migrant children have been rescued from trafficking situations in the recent operations. ICE agents coordinate with NGOs and social services to ensure rescued children receive proper care. The real criminals are the cartels, the traffickers who profit from exploiting vulnerable kids. But nobody isn't talking about that because Democrats don't care. For anything, they were hoping Kamala became president so that they could make all of these illegals citizens or eligible to vote so that they can stay in power and dominate Congress. They don't care about the children. See, the hidden crisis here is unaccompanied minors and fake families. Most people don't realize up to 30% of adults crossing with children aren't actually their parents. Criminal networks coach adults to claim fake relationships with kids to exploit family reunification policies. ICE agents use DNA testing, interviews, and intelligence gathering to identify these fake families and rescue children who are being trafficked or sold. These kids often show signs of trauma, malnourishment, and abuse, clear indicators they're victims, not willing participants in immigration. Multi-agency coordinations is the real rescue operations here. What the media doesn't show you is how ICE works with FBI, local police, international partners, and child welfare agencies in complex rescue operations. These aren't random raids. They're carefully planned missions targeting specific criminal networks. Agents spend months gathering intelligence, mapping trafficking routes, and coordinating with social workers to ensure rescued children immediately receive medical care, counseling, and safe placement. It's a comprehensive approach that treats these kids as victims, because they are the real victims here, who need protection, not criminals to be deported. So I'm sorry. I don't care if you feel as though ICE agents are being too rough, they're separating a man or a mom from her children. Most likely, they're not her kids anyway. I don't care what ABC, CNN, and all of these woke liberal news media outlets are trying to report to make it seem like, oh, Trump is a bully, Tom Homan is evil. No, you have to look at the real results. First of all, they're illegal. They shouldn't be here. A lot of them are criminals, and they're in gangs and the cartels, and they're increasing crime in these sanctuary cities. Third, they were getting free resources off our tax dollars that Americans weren't even receiving. Fourth, you have people who are not even in cartels trafficking and abusing innocent children. So I'm sorry. I am pro ICE. Do your job. Like I said, they're coming to a city near you.
Dana with the data. Dana with the data.